see you all met.
What's this all about, Dom?
Yeah, man, why'd you drag us halfway around the world?
Because we got a job. I think the fans are gonna have a lot of fun seeing all the guys back together.
As a stealth mission, we'll be in and out before they even know we were there. This time around, Brian and Dom, we're up against so much. I mean, we got the entire world after us. We just went from the middle of the most wanted list to the very top.
They're on a whole other level, and their stakes are so high.
We're talking about breaking into a police station.
This is crazy. This is $100 million.
Yeah! It's time to kick ass. Bring a lunch. This is gonna be an all-day affair.
Home sweet home. Coming out of the last picture, the objective was to bring in characters that you knew from other Fast and Furious films, put them all together, and have a lot of fun.
When are you gonna give Martin Luther King his car back? As soon as you give Rick James his jacket back.
Everyone has played a major part, and everyone has contributed a whole hell of a lot to this franchise. It was a group effort.
Salute de familia.
You know that old saying, family comes first. All the family has come together as one.
Certain characters are linked to Brian, certain characters are linked to Dom, and it's great to see how they get back together and how they work together. And that was really the big idea that got me excited.
All of us in the cast have kind of had our own moments to shine in each piece of the franchise, and they've came up with a very creative storyline that makes it all make sense that we're all together.
And this one starts where you got Brian, you got Mia down in Rio, and they're running, and they're playing the best cards they can, maintaining a low profile.
They have a plan to meet Dominic Toretto in Rio, where they're going to hook up with Vince from the first movie.
How's it feel?
What's that?
Be on the other side of a wanted poster.
For Brian, he's always been on the law side, and now he's an outlaw. And that dynamic is exciting because you've never seen Dom and Brian on the same side.
There's a job coming up. A couple of high-end cars, easy targets.
He thinks he's doing the right thing, and it's going to be quick, and he's helping them out.
We're really desperate. We're down to like our last $2, and we have no other way of making money. We agree to it. We think it's going to be easy, and yet there's a little bit of a hitch in the plans.
DEA tags. These cars have been seized. But at that point, they're committed. There's nothing they can do. There's no backing out. Things are unraveling as he speaks.
We're being robbed!
And as much as he hates to admit it, he needs Dom.
Thought I told you to lay low.
Had to make a call.
It's always fun to see Dom and Brian working together.
Oh, shit!
It's fun to see them get into their Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid zone.
With Brian and Dom, there's a mutual respect, but we both have our own kind of different ways of doing things.
You had to make a call, huh?
Their backs get pushed to the wall to a point where Dom feels like their only way out is to do the craziest thing, which is to basically go into the heart of a police station, steal $100 million from a vault, escape, and build new lives.
You realize we're talking about going up against the most powerful guy in all of Rio?
Yes, we are.
Then we're gonna need a team.
And we start recruiting our band of brothers.
Who do we got?
So we're gonna need someone who can blend in.
I have Dom and Brian's back. You know, when things hit the fan, they have my expertise, driving skills, and come in and help them out.
Roman is back, baby. I'm here.
Hello, beautiful.
I'm the charmer that's trying to see to it that we get this damn money.
I'm pretty much the tech guy of the movie, making sure that everything is broken into. The safes, computers, all of that good stuff.
She has no fear. She will always help a friend in need. She enjoys playing with guns, and she enjoys the action.
I think I'm in love.
We get My Guys, which is Leo and Santos.
We get along great with him, and we respect him a lot, and he makes it happen for us.
There you go with that negativity, man.
Our relationship is kind of crazy. We are the comedians, and we love it.
So target's name is Hernan Reyes, and he runs the drug scene down here.
I got a problem with the mission. I got a problem with why are we in Brazil? What the hell is going on? Bring us to a whole nother country so we can rob the dude who runs it? I'm out.
We're talking about $100 million.
You say what?
And everything we take, we split even.
I'm down.
With Dom and Brian now on the same side, the exciting thing was the handoff of the antagonist.
The men we're after are professional runners. We find them, we take them as a team, and we don't ever, ever let them get in the cars.
But right away, I knew that we were going to be able to have an opportunity to create a character that's going to be memorable and really get the audience pumped up.
When the FBI wants to find somebody, that's who they call. Blood, bullets, wrath of God, that's his style.
Right now, he's hunting us.
The character of Hobbs he's a unique guy just in terms of the job that he has. I find men and I hunt them down and I bring them in. Dead or alive, that's going to be up to them. But Toretto! Hobbs and Toretto respect each other, but at the same time, I still have a job to do. I'm still bringing your ass in.
You're in my world now.
I think that they very much are akin to one another, which makes for a very interesting dynamic. We're not really sure where it's going to go, but we know that it's going to be interesting.
Officer Neves, your husband was an officer who was gunned down in the favela. I figure you're the only one in Rio who can't be bought. Am I right?
Yes. She's very proud and she has to show that she can be as strong as a man and that she's good enough to be in that, you know.
They have the law chasing them on one side, and they have Reyes and his group chasing them on the other side.
These guys came in and stole our car and stole the computer chip that has the location of all our money.
This just went from Mission Impossible to Mission Freaking Sanity.
I think this doesn't change a thing.
That was the fun part in concocting and building this heist, was where do you take the money from?
This is where he's keeping the money.
Then it also became, well, how can they do this?
We're talking about breaking into a police station. People we don't like.
O'Connor, let's go get some cars.
We test all of these cars, trying to figure out how do we dodge these multi-cameras in the surveillance area. Camera caught you.
But when push comes to shove, at the end, they decide, forget stealth. Let's just rip the vault out of the building and take it away.
Call it out, Mia!
Go right.
It's a dynamic sequence. A 10-foot by 10-foot by 7-foot ball being dragged around Rio de Janeiro, knocking out lampposts, cars, and causing mayhem and chaos throughout the streets.
Everybody got excited about it.
Wow. Holy cow.
Nobody had really seen it done on film, and to do it for real.
We got spikes! We're going right!
And that's when I knew we had something great.
It's a real vault, not a CG vault. There was a lot of weight there.
That vault that we're pouring would just weigh a ton. You want to be able to put down as much traction as possible, and you need big, heavy cars. Some 4,000-pound car wouldn't have cut it.
So the effects department built a frame around the Chargers and tied an entire back bumper cage where this thing could support that kind of weight. And I gotta say, over the entire term of our shooting, we never once broke the back end of that Charger. The other thing that came into play was that it's hard to guide this thing. When cars come sweeping around the corner, the vault is a whiplash. It's the end of a bullwhip. It really doesn't stop for anything.
Shooting in real downtown with buildings and sidewalks and storefronts, so we had to make sure that none of this could get out of control, but at the same time, look like it's out of control.
Did you just take out a bank?
Every single stunt that we do, we try and cover it from as many angles as we think where the action will lead it. Because you just never know where anything's going to happen.
The trick was to find a way to get close to the action and make it exciting but keep it safe. So we took a vehicle and we built a cage around it, and we were able to drive this thing right up to the cars, up to the cables, touching that vault at times.
I just can't imagine how many cars we actually demolished. So there's a point where I've just said, please don't tell me anymore. I don't want to know. It's too much. I love cars. This is ridiculous. Please don't destroy any more cars.
Check the gate! The action in this one is bigger than, I think, the last two combined. Not just car chases, but there's actually foot chases.
Watch your picture! To do some of these big, high rooftop chase things through the favelas, we decided to do it in Puerto Rico where we could have a little more control.
Brooks, let's go up the middle. Machado, flank north.
And nothing is structurally sound. It's on a 30-degree incline. It's every problem that you could imagine. But at the same time, it's exciting because it's never been seen before in film.
This is a big shot here. It's a tricky shot. We're trying to merge two stunts at the same time, which is not something you see a lot. Timing is everything. So I'm about to launch off here.
All right, guys, here we go. Pictures up. Oh!
We wanted to be able to lock Vin and Paul in and have them do their own action.
You know, I'm hopping over walls, I'm doing dive rolls, and I'm like, oh man, I love this stuff.
To get them to be able to jump from rooftop to rooftop, we had the overhead rig systems and computerized winch systems.
Jordana sees it, and she's like, yeah, I want to do it.
I got there and I saw this, like, massive, like, 20-foot jump, and I was like, how am I gonna do that? But Paul's such a pro at this, and he's done it so many times that I was holding his hand, so that made it pretty easy.
Clear, pictures up.
Let's go.
It's just fun. Awesome! And I'm like, I want to do that again.
The train heist was a challenge. We had to get permission to basically own a piece of working railroad, and then we had to buy trains, and then we had to build these trucks that were able to go up against the trains.
It's kind of like a monster truck mixed in with a flatbed tow truck.
I wanted a car to jump out of the train at full speed. It took precise execution.
3, 2, 1, go!
One of the more exciting parts of that whole sequence was actually running that truck into a moving train.
There are jump ramps involved. Obviously, this is going to be a violent collision. Fire in the hole!
The truck was cabled in and probably hit that train at 60 to 70 miles an hour. It actually lifted the train off the track, tilted it, and then it came back down. We thought for sure it was going over it.
When it did happen, I mean, we were like millimeters off. If it was just a little bit more push, that train would have overturned.
It was the classic stagecoach train robbery without horses, but a whole lot of horsepower.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson up against Vin Diesel. There hasn't been anything this big since King Kong vs. Godzilla.
There's a fantastical element to taking the two guys that represent formidability and put them together. That's fun for any audience member.
We have this incredible opportunity, and we have got to deliver. What's going to happen? What kind of fight is this going to be? So there was a lot of time, effort, thought put into this fight.
So this is after Superman punch lands. Here comes Dom to throw one final right. I slip, hook, we go for right.
We spent 6 weeks rehearsing it. It had its challenges in choreography. What could you come up that was special, some sort of signature move that we hadn't seen before?
Ultimately, it's a great moment in the movie to see who these guys are, who Dom is, who Hobbs is, and the way they fight.
Hobbs does have the training, he does have the physicality, and he has the technique that give him the advantage.
Hobbs is better trained, but Dom, who's more of a brawler, has something real to fight for.
For me, the great part about this fight is I could utilize what I have in my own personal arsenal. Years of training, years of wrestling, years of learning different combat styles.
Everybody clear? 3, 2, 1, go!
It's very rewarding. When the fight scene was over, it was a real sense of pride for both Dwayne and I. Nice swing, nice swing. And it was very clear that this couldn't have gone down any other way.
That's what I call whipping my ass.
Because of the tremendous amount of action in this movie, we actually had 3 and sometimes 4 units shooting at the same time. There was a lot of logistics of shooting in Mojave Desert, Puerto Rico, and Atlanta, and then shooting in Rio.
It's iconic, it's sexy, the mountains, the beaches, the people, everything about it had to go to Rio.
It's just a different flavor. It's just got a different spice, like a strut, kind of an air, kind of an attitude. It's warm and it's fun.
We lived there for 4 years and I have a lot of family there, and my mom's Brazilian, and so it's really important to me that we go to Rio and shoot there.
So on Thursday morning, we are starting at the top of the Dona Marta favela.
Anyone that knows Rio is that it's covered in favelas, which is essentially Rio's version of slums.
It's like a big apartment, you know, that you're shooting in a big building of apartments because they live very together, each other.
As a location, they are full of texture and life, some dangerous, some not so dangerous. Not many movies get to go and shoot down there.
You guys should look up a little bit more.
We were able to do that because our franchise has such good street cred that we were able to shoot where other productions might not be able to shoot. Because Dom was there, and Dom was on the set.
The people, they saw all the Fast and Furious, so that's why the people is so excited to have Fast and Furious in Rio.
To see Vin coming into their neighborhood was crazy. The celebration that went on, and after we wrapped, it's so nice to spend time with the kids and the people who lived there. It made their year.
Rio's fun for tuner bells. It's kind of a car film lover's fantasy in some ways.
I've always told people cars and good-looking girls, that translates real well. I don't care where you're from in the world. As far as the rest of the vehicles at the Tuner Bale, the cars are a little different in South America. BMWs are popular. Ford Mavericks, of all things, are very popular in Brazil. Honda actually drives a Maverick. That's his Rio car. I think we've done really well with car casting. The cars that we're featuring have the most credibility and that are the most viable given what we're putting them through. They wanted a car that would be like his local Rio car, something that wasn't expensive, wasn't flashy, but it still had to have a cool factor.
So a lot of the cars that you see had to be worked in for story reason. I remember telling Paul, you're going to be able to drive a Porsche, and I just saw the smile on his face.
I'm a Porsche nut, really. That's one that commands a lot of respect. I think, you know, to be able to drive it fast around the track. It's just kind of understood that that's one of the more difficult platforms to really master. It's so fast, and it defies all physics, but that's the beauty of it. Vin Diesel definitely likes the Charger. And we've made some changes. The blower was removed because now he's trying to operate in a low-profile fashion and has that weather look as though it's driven all the way to South America, but it's still the same car.
Dom uses that Charger as though it's really an extension of him.
That monster has never seen a set of taillights.
I always try to get the right character in the right car, and usually their character is somewhat close to who they really are, one way or another. The Gurkha looked great. It really fit The Rock's character. We've really abused that vehicle hard, put it through its paces, and it keeps on going.
It is a badass, absurdly large vehicle. It was a fun vehicle to drive. You can't get to 60 in the 3.2 seconds in it, but once it gets going, it's pretty powerful.
Dwayne is a huge guy, and anything less than the Gurkha would look silly. It would look like a clown car.
I can appreciate the fast cars and Fast and Furious, but at the end of the day, I'll take that Gurkha. That Gurkha will crush those cars in a second. May not be able to catch them, but if it ever does, you're done.
steal some police cars to perform this heist, and we all look over at each other and like whose driving skills are gonna top the other guy.
I got 100,000 says I can take you all to the next quarter mile.
And what better way to do it than to put them in the exact same cars?
Just make it $1 million.
If everything's equal, who's gonna win?
Just don't cheat this time.
Gotta let that go. This is the first Fast and Furious that both Paul and I are driving the same car, the Dodge Charger.
There's some money on the line, but it's more about the pride, and we go for it.
And of course, it's very appropriate for Roman to be the only one to put on his lights.
Yeah! Right, because I'm the first one in, baby. I'm like a firefighter. I'm ready to go. Guns is blazing, lights is blazing, and it's going down.
Don't make it too easy for me, boy.
It's always fun to see, but the core of it is Brian and Vin's character have always, in every movie, battle who's going to win the race.
Not this time, dog.
At the end of the day, they can have all the money in the world. They're still just two guys who want to go out and just race.
Gotta want it, Brian.
This is a bust. Need to do some more recon. Call in a couple extra guys.
Don't worry. You don't send a man to do a woman's job.
There's a certain energy about these guys, and it just works. It's the real deal.
You guys have every cop in Rio coming after you.
Everyone had the intent of elevating the action and giving the audience a phenomenal experience. We'll find you.
No, you won't.
We just keep expanding it, and we keep upping the ante.
We gotta keep running.
Running ain't freedom. It's about heart and about character and about the growth of these characters that you know so well. Chances are, sooner or later, we're gonna end up behind bars or buried in a ditch somewhere. But not today.